genetic disorder that I will be presenting today is called adrenoleukodystrophy, or ALD. ALD, in a sense, is like Alzheimer's because it causes brain deterioration, but unlike Alzheimer's, it does not cause memory loss. What causes ALD? Mutations in ABCD1, a gene located on the X chromosome, code for ALD protein, which in turn causes the genetic disorder. It is an autosomal recessive mutation, but it could also be considered sex-linked because it primarily affects boys and men, but it's not considered sex-linked because it can affect girls and women too. It's just a lot less common. Which chromosome is it found on? As previously mentioned, the mutation is found on the X chromosome gene ABCD1. Some symptoms of the disorder are muscle spasms, seizures, trouble swallowing, loss of hearing, trouble with language comprehension, impaired vision, hyperactivity, paralysis, coma, deterioration of fine motor control, and crossed eyes. Can ALD be inherited? Yes, it can be inherited if the parent is a carrier. In males, it's a lot less common because it only requires one mutated X chromosome to be inherited from one parent. In females, the female offspring must inherit both mutated X chromosomes from both parents, which is why it's a lot less common. Racial and/or ethnic groups affected. The most commonly affected of all racial groups is Caucasians or white people, though it is not limited to this one race. There have been confirmed cases in African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and Asian Americans, but they are much more rare. Frequency of the disorder. Worldwide, the frequency of the disorder is about 1 in every 50,000 people. However, in the US, where it is a lot more common, for males, it's about 1 in every 21,000 male and 1 in every 16,800 females. Life expectancy for a person with ALD is about 5 to 10 years after diagnosis. The symptoms begin to develop around the ages of 4 years old to 10 years old, which makes the life expectancy about 10 years old to 20 years old. 3 interesting facts. 1. ALD affects a person's adrenal glands, which are small glands located above each kidney that produce hormones that humans actually cannot live without. There are 3 kinds of ALD: neonatal, childhood, and adult onset ALD. Childhood onset ALD is the most common of the 3 and is actually the one that I am presenting right now. And last but not least, ALD damages the myelin sheath of a person's nervous system, which is the protective layering of a person's nervous system. Treatments. There is no current cure for ALD. However, people with this genetic disorder have been helped by switching to a diet that contains low levels of VLCFAs, taking Lorenzo oil, an experimental drug not yet approved by the FDA, to help lower elevated VLCFA levels, taking medications to relieve symptoms such as seizures, and doing physical therapy to loosen muscles and reduce spasms. The cure that I have come up with that I believe will help cure this genetic disorder is gene therapy. Gene therapy works by introducing new genetic material into a cell that will essentially get rid of the mutated gene. With enough funding and development, scientists could use gene therapy on fetuses or the unborn to prevent this genetic disorder from developing. Gene therapy can currently be used on children and adults, which is actually very useful because, as previously mentioned, symptoms start developing when the affected individual is a child. Thank you for watching my presentation on adrenoleukodystrophy.